The sons of Ragnar Lothbrok, the legendary monarch and king, have become important figureheads in Viking legend, lore and history. And names like Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn Ironside and Sigurd Snake in the Eye still bring a sense of awe and admiration to many across the world even to this day. However, Ragnar also had two other lesser known sons named Eric and Agnar, both of whom were fierce Viking warriors in their own right, and their ambitions and drive for glory outshined even that of their illustrious father Ragnar. Although these two brothers possessed a remarkable degree of valor and battle prowess, both would meet brutal and tragic ends when they would rebel against their father Ragnar and attack his allies in Sweden during a failed conquest and rebellion. But how did Eric and Agnar die? And what was the response by the rest of Ragnar's sons when they heard about the brutal and bloody death of their brothers? To answer both these questions, we will be looking at the medieval sources, the tale of Ragnar's sons, and the Saxo Grammaticus to better understand how exactly did the forgotten sons of Ragnar, Eric and Agnar, actually die. But before we begin, don't forget, if you want to find out more about the deaths of some of history's greatest figures, then subscribe to my channel, Historical Exit. Before we can delve into the historical sources to better comprehend the death of these two Viking brothers, we first need to have a basic understanding of the events that would lead up to their brutal ends. Eric and Agnar were Ragnar's sons from his second marriage to Thora Borgarjord, the beautiful Viking princess and the true love of Ragnar's life, if the tale of Ragnar's sons is to be believed. However, Thora would pass away from an unspecified illness while both Eric and Agnar were still very young, and Ragnar would marry his third and final wife Aslog. Aslog would love both her stepsons dearly and she would raise them as her own, resulting in Eric and Agnar having a close bond with their half-brothers Bjorn, Ivar, Sigurd, Ube and Vitsik. Being the sons of Ragnar ignited a great sense of ambition and legacy within Eric and Agnar, and from a young age they would begin to harness their martial prowess and battle skills, keen to win glory and fame just like their father. And these two brothers would lead their forces to conquer the nearby islands of Zealand, Jutland, Gotland, Åland, and many other minor islands. The fame and reputation of Eric and Agnar was growing at such a rapid pace that even Ragnar began to feel a great sense of jealousy and bitterness towards the growing reputation of his sons, as he feared their accomplishments would outshine his own. Therefore, he would install his close ally King Eystein Belli as the King of Sweden in his absence, with the specific task of halting Eric and Agnar's conquest into the nation. As Ragnar knew, his sons would eventually look towards conquering the kingdoms under his control to attempt to diminish his power and reputation. Ragnar also understood he would have to conquer and raid new and distant lands to enhance his own glory, and he would look towards England as his next target, and he would set sail with his forces towards the British Isles soon after installing King Eystein. As expected, once Ragnar had set off to conquer England, Eric and Agnar would land on the shores of Sweden, ready to add the nation as another territory under their control. The brothers sent a messenger to King Eystein, demanding that he surrender all his lands to them, as well as offer his beautiful daughter Borghild in marriage to Eric. Unsurprisingly, Eystein refused these terms, and he would meet the two brothers in a fearsome battle in which the Swedish forces of Eystein would overwhelm the Viking invaders, and in the ensuing battle, Agnar would meet his demise. The tale of Ragnar's sons is the historical text which provides the most in-depth account of the two brothers' lives, and it states the ending of Agnar as follows. Agnar fell in battle, pierced by spears, fighting valiantly against Eystein's forces. This discourse is also present in the historical text, the Gesto Danorum, which provides a very similar outline of events to what is present in the tale of Ragnar's sons. So therefore, we have two historical texts which corroborate the discourse that Agnar was killed in battle against the forces of King Eystein, with the tale of Ragnar's sons specifically mentioning that he was defeated after being pierced many times by spears while mounting a valiant defense. And while it is true that both of these historical texts are written many centuries after the events of Eric and Agnar's death, they are still the only medieval texts which make any sort of reference to the passing of these two brothers. And this death in battle discourse is the most plausible theory we have on how Agnar died based on the archaeological and textual evidence we currently have at our disposal. Furthermore though, during this battle not only was Agnar slain, but Eric was also captured and taken prisoner by the forces of Eystein. But perhaps due to the death of Agnar and fearing the repercussions of having killed a son of the famed Ragnar Lothbrok, Eystein was keen to make peace with Eric, and he offered many land concessions to the Viking warrior, even agreeing to allow Eric to marry his daughter Borghild as well if he would put an end to his conquest and agree to terms of peace. However, having tasted the bitter pill of defeat, Eric was unwilling to accept any terms of peace or surrender, and he was adamant that he wanted nothing more but to choose his own method of execution so he would no longer have to feel the shame of being defeated in battle and having failed in his conquest. Eric wished to be killed in a manner which would enhance his reputation and bring glory to the name of Ragnar's son, and he asked to be impaled on spears and raised above the dead so he could die with his honor intact. The final moments of Eric are vividly depicted once again in the tale of Ragnar's sons, which states that Eric said he would not accept life in shame nor gifts from the king. He asked to be raised upon spear points so that he could die a warrior's death. However, the story of these two brothers does not end here, as it is stated that Aslog was so grief-stricken and distraught at the death of her stepsons that she wept blood and vowed that she would not rest till the killers of Eric and Agnar had been defeated. Sharing in their mother's grief, the remaining sons of Ragnar, Bjorn Ironside, Ube, Fitzurk, and Ivar the Boneless, would combine their forces and head to Sweden and defeat Eystein's forces in battle, with Eystein himself perishing in the conflict as well. Having avenged the deaths of Eric and Agnar, the sons of Ragnar would then lead their forces to England, where news of their father's brutal execution had reached their ears, resulting in the great heathen army reaching the shores of England to change the course of European history forever. So I really hope you found that video to be educational and engaging. And if you did enjoy it, please do like and share this video with others. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel Historical Exit so you can find out more about the deaths of some of history's greatest figures. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.